people could get hurt in any, either way. Now he's under the freeway, under the 110 freeway. We'll see. He's coming out the other side. He's now coming out on the west side. He's westbound. Did he just go?
I didn't see him come out. Maybe he's stopping under the freeway.
Did he not come out? Is he still under?
He's still under.
He might be.
Oldest
trick in the book. Oldest trick in the book. If he decides to dump the vehicle under that freeway and walk out, we'll see if he comes out. There he is. There he is. He's going the wrong way. Going the wrong way. This is a surface street. This is a street that parallels the 110 freeway. It's a very narrow surface street, and you can see him. He's going to come up on. He's going to be forced to make the left here. This is. There's a few dead ends over here, so if he doesn't know where he's going, he could end up locked into a cul-de-sac or something like that. He's got the window down. He's got the visor down, so you really can't see him, but he still has those windshield wipers
He's got his phone
going.
in his right
it looks
hand.
like he might be on the phone.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yes. He's holding it.
That's probably why he hasn't stopped those windshield wipers from moving, because his hands are occupied. One's on the steering wheel, the other one's on his phone. And yeah,
you
he's
might
busy.
be able to see better than me, David. Is he looking at the phone, or is he
on and off?
He looks like he's moving. I don't know if that's.
The first shot, the one where he got a good shot, he was definitely thumbing something on his phone, and trying to steer at the same time.
94th and Main Street, crossing Main, down 94th, continuing. Look at the damage there on the passenger side, and it almost makes you wonder whether that was there or whether he has done that. Most likely, I'm going to go out on a limb. This is purely a guess. Probably an impact that he made during the course of this pursuit, but for all I know, I mean, this was, again, that's not his vehicle, so we just don't know. But the driving that we've seen here, we've seen so many close calls. We just haven't made an actual visual of him actually coming in contact with any other vehicles, but he's continuing these random turns now in an entirely different neighborhood. We're in the Southwest Division of LAPD's jurisdiction, just to the west of the 110 freeway. Still, I'm sorry, Southeast Division, I should say, Southeast, pardon me. Still, though, no sign of any black and whites, but what you do see here is a lot of people crossing the road, going about their day without any anticipation of this guy flying down these narrow streets here. Once again, crossing Avalon Boulevard with cross traffic, continuing to speed through these residential neighborhoods. And at this point, you just hope he runs out of gas at this point.
We're all on edge, Chris, right? But I did want to ask you, so no black and whites tailing him, but what about the chopper? Is there a law enforcement chopper overhead?
Yeah, California Highway Patrol still has eyes on him. They are still calling out the location, and back at dispatch, there is back at the station, somebody is watching and ready to make that decision. You have multiple jurisdictions, though. You have California Highway Patrol. They're watching this very carefully. They have a helicopter over the suspect. You also have LA County Sheriff's Department with their own decision makers at the helm. They're watching it go through their jurisdiction, and then you have LAPD, who is watching this madman drive through the streets of Southeast LA in LAPD's jurisdiction. So you have any number of agencies here on top of some of the smaller ones that we've traveled through, like Inglewood just a moment ago, where anybody can make the decision to engage with the suspect, get units in the area, try and set up for a spike strip if they have the opportunity. There you see, he's rolled up that window. He's got the phone in his hand, the phone in his right hand, using his left hand to steer the vehicle, making wild, random turns, continuing as he goes over the double yellow lines here, a whole line of traffic on 92nd Street at a red light. And you can see traffic is starting to pick up here as he makes his way down, going the wrong way on 92nd. Folks pulling over to make way for this guy as he continues to speed through Southeast LA without anybody's safety in mind here. This is just so dangerous.
And traffic is only going to get worse. It's just a few minutes after 5 p.m. on a Friday. A lot more people will be hitting the roads in their cars on their commute home.
Yeah, I mean, occasionally he's found some empty roads, but overall, there's a lot of traffic out on this Friday afternoon, and you can see him occasionally encountering that traffic. And in this position, he's actually forced to stop. Look at him.
He's getting out.
Getting out, dumping the vehicle in the middle of the street.
Or she.
It's a woman.
It's a woman.
It's a woman jumping out of the vehicle with a backpack, now running for it, but there's nobody behind her.
There's nobody behind her. She's just dumped that vehicle, a stolen Kia Soul in the middle of the road, and now she is just going for a jog as if nothing ever happened. And without anybody in the vicinity, she could very well hide out easily if she found the right hiding spot here. But she's just going to jog up Compton Avenue here on the sidewalk. We're going to follow her each and every move here, but on foot, they have an excellent opportunity to try and get some law enforcement in the area to get this woman into custody. She is a real danger to the community, and I sure hope we see this end, with an arrest here, because she's got to be taken off the road.
Absolutely.
And you would think that law enforcement is mobilized to sort of, get in there as quickly as possible. Now that if we can see her, the law enforcement shopper can.
Oh, they're
see
watching
her.
as well.
Yeah.
They're very identifiable with the white pants and the jersey shirt or whatever that is. And then she's not gonna run too fast. I mean, she's already kind of getting gassed, so you can tell she's really tired.
That's the ironic thing. That's the ironic thing about it. She thinks she's just. What is she trying to do here?
She's hitchhiking.
Stop.
A hitchhike
Come on.
turned into a carjacking?
Come
maybe?
on. Really? This is unbelievable. This is out of control. I mean, what is she going to do? She has no idea how many eyes are on her. She thinks she's going for a Friday afternoon stroll down Compton Avenue. She's about to be rudely awoken here if she continues. If she tries to hitchhike or carjack somebody, this is going to take a much different turn. Look at her stopping traffic, trying to get a ride, looking at her hands, trying to beg for a ride as she continues walking up Compton. This is unbelievable. This is incredible.
This might be a first to see a pursuit suspect then get out of the car and then try to hitchhike.
Did she not hear the choppers?
Well, she's probably
she must.
She
must.
Multiple choppers, and but I'm still fascinated to see if
how
law
this
enforcement
ends.
decides to pick this person up, or is she just going to walk and walk and walk? Where is she from? What's her story? We just don't know.
Well, she's had plenty of opportunities to hide. She could easily, find private property where she could hide. She's not making any attempt to hide. She's sticking with the sidewalk here, just trying to. I mean, who knows where I doubt she knows where she is, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong. But she's really looking for a ride. I mean, she's desperate for a ride, and I just don't think she understands how many eyes are on her. But she is still continuing to try and wave down other motorists. It's not going to be long. I know it seems like it's taking forever, but there are officers on the way over here, and it seems like it's, we're mere seconds or minutes away from somebody pulling up here with lights and sirens flashing. But
Well,
right now,
And those people
look,
there, I wonder if they know what's
Right.
happening.
We have seen signs that there are people watching this, and we saw a couple of guys just a few minutes ago on an intersection that saw her going by and clearly, physically, waved and were excited about that. Those folks on that balcony might have been watching this as well, knowing that she's coming their way. So this has become a little bit of something. So there are a number of folks out there that are watching this pursuit.
Yeah, LAPD has units on the way. So LAPD Southeast units, I believe, are actually making their way over here. Like I said a minute ago, it seems like it's taking forever, but they are aware of this. They are watching this live on ABC7, and they are clearly aware of her movements, and they are trying to get units into position here as she continues to hustle towards 100th Street. She's got the phone still in her hand, a backpack and another bag as she starts to pick up the pace once again here down Compton Avenue. And again, not venturing into any private property. She's sticking with a public sidewalk, which tells me that she's not really making a big effort to hide. She's had plenty of opportunities to hide in a way that we would never find her and law enforcement would lose track of her. That's not the situation here. But what I am curious to see is, as this pursuit starts to go viral on the internet, at what point do we start to see other people?
Look,
There's somebody right there with a phone.
shooting video
See,
of her.
there are already people,
Yeah.
that, just as I was saying that, there are already pedestrians on the street there, well aware of this woman who is just walking through the neighborhood, and they know she's up to no good. So
But now she's on
this is
private
now
property.
public knowledge. I'm sorry, Joanna. Go ahead.
She's on private property now.
She is now in an apartment. Yeah, she's in an apartment complex. Looks like a parking. Yeah, these are two apartment buildings. She's in between the two, and CHP with eyes on her here. We'll see if she
might have ducked in
She
somewhere.
might have walked into one of these parking garages.
Yeah.
Or one of these carports. I don't think she came out the other side. They lost her. They lost her inside, in between these two apartment buildings.
She could have knocked on someone's door,
She might
right?
just be hanging out in the shade. That's a parking garage right there. So
Yeah.
she might be hanging in there.
These
They're
are-
all
Look
watching
at these
her.
people. See, these people know exactly who she is.
Oh, yeah, and they're all pointing out.
everybody is watching on their phone here, trying to catch a glimpse. They're watching online. They're trying to record it. But she is somewhere in this vicinity, and they are now in a position, now that she's on foot, they should be able to lock down this apartment complex, or at least this 1 square block. However, it's been at least 5 minutes, maybe I'm losing track of time, maybe even more, and we still see no sign of LAPD. We know they're on the way, but right now, no sign of LAPD, as this woman has more and more time to hide, whether she's just getting some shade or taking a rest. Like you said, David, good possibility there. She could just take a breather inside the carport undercover and wait this out.
She could be hiding under a car, and we don't know what the strategy is for law enforcement. They may know who she is. A lot we don't know yet.
Well, behavior alone, she's still a threat. She could be dangerous, and now she's hanging out in this property here. We don't know where she is or if she's trying to get into somebody's place. And there's a CHP helicopter that's been watching her as well. They know where she is. There's an approximation at least, and from that they could track her down. But to state the obvious, the good news is she jumped out of the car. That's when she was the most dangerous.
That's when she
far
was
less
most
dangerous now.
Right, exactly right. I don't think they know who she is, because for all of this pursuit, they've been referring to her as a he. And so I think they were just as surprised when she stepped out of the vehicle. This was a stolen vehicle, a stolen Kia Soul. Not sure where it was stolen. But her actions here, well, you're right, David. I mean, she's really, now that car is abandoned, she is not a threat, not as much of a threat anyways, as she was earlier. And now there is a belief that she is indeed hiding out in that carport, likely the one on the right there, but I'm not sure. There's 2 buildings there with 2 separate carports, and she is somewhere in this vicinity.
Yeah, and it's possible that all of these pedestrians we're seeing are calling 911 and letting authorities know that she is at that property.
Is this guy talking to somebody? I don't see anybody he's talking to. Is it possible that somebody's over there?
He's talking to somebody.
He's talking to somebody.
He's talking to somebody.
For her.
Oh, maybe he's just talking into his phone while he's looking for her.
Got it. Yeah, we're going to try and come around the other side here, see who's on the other side of that fence. He was talking to somebody. I don't know if it's her, but he was talking to somebody near that dumpster. And who knows at this point if she's, I mean, it's just impossible to see. We can't tell, exactly where she is, but he appeared to be communicating with somebody behind that fence.
Yeah. Well, this has really been a fascinating pursuit. I mean, we took it with some question
Front of the building. All right, somebody's got eyes on her in the front of the building. That's going to be the California Highway Patrol helicopter, who has made eyes on the suspect.
Could
she has apparently changed clothes.
Yeah,
she's changed clothes. Oh, same clothes. Sorry, I'm sorry. Same clothes. She's in the same. I'm sorry. I'm getting conflicting information. She's in the same clothes now, and hopefully we'll catch a glimpse of her here on the front of the building. Look at the crowd that's starting to gather here. There's somebody with their phone out. She's in a doorway.
Are they pointing at something?
People are pointing at her, but
or are they trying to get the attention of the
no sign of any law enforcement here. I just have to reiterate, what we're watching here is going on I'm closer to 10 minutes now, where there is no sign of law enforcement. We heard that LAPD Southeast units were on the way out here, but quite frankly, guys, I can't tell you I'd be surprised if they just abandon this. It's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but, they are very, quick to let these go. If there's not an immediate danger to the public, and
we
they don't feel like it's worth, they have. We don't know that, but they have other business. They have other calls coming in. 911 ringing off the hook left and right. If a woman who's no longer in that stolen vehicle is just walking around South LA, it becomes a here they come. LAPD Southeast units, I'm sorry, Highway Patrol and LAPD. LAPD and CHP, two separate black and whites, now pulling up to this apartment building. And if they can get eyes on her, they'll be in a better position here. Otherwise, they're going to need more units to lock down this area and try and corner her. But at least there are units here. CHP and LAPD both responding out here to the end of this pursuit.
But look at how casually everyone else is walking around. That makes me a little nervous. I don't know.
Hopefully they can help direct them to where they think she is. I just kind of, I kind of think that she still should be seen as a threat, because when it comes to her behavior during the driving, and also who knows what her mental state is, and if she's now trying to hang out in somebody's private property, trying to hide out, that could be tricky. So he's going to go check this out.
So he's moving a little quicker. Maybe he sees something, maybe he doesn't. He's definitely
spoken to a few witnesses down there, and now you see that CHP officer heading back down that alleyway in the same direction that we were trying to find her earlier. So somewhere in between these buildings here, somebody has made eyes on her, and as far as we could tell, she hasn't moved over to a different property. I think she's probably still hiding out near this parking garage. I imagine if we stay here long enough, this officer will eventually bring her back out to the street if he finds her. But yeah, you can see the crowd here. Everybody over here seems to be well aware of who she is, just based on what they're seeing on their phones and online.
Yeah.
I'm just so curious to see where she is, or if she actually was able to get into somebody's home from underneath there. And there's probably a lot of places that she could be hiding as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hiding spots here. She is on private property, so, you know, she is trespassing. But again, when we talk about those petty crimes, was that the officer?
Yeah, it looked like he was looking around the back of the other building.
He's looking around, yeah. Yeah, I mean, most of, you know, when you talk about some of the, you know, all of the traffic infractions and the trespassing charge, I mean, these are all relatively petty misdemeanors relative to the actual theft of the automobile. But other than that, guys, you know, it's going to be probably a mental health situation at the end of the day. But right now you can see there's an LAPD officer in front, a CHP officer in the back. They are trying to track her down.
Yeah, this could be something that takes a while. So I don't know if there are other units showing up, or if it's going to be left to these two officers to kind of assess and get out. But I hope everybody in that apartment building can at least assess their own property, so they know that she's not intruding on them, because there's law enforcement right there that can help out if she is.
All right, so I'm being told that CHP may have her. The officer, the CHP officer who was walking through there, may have her. Whether he has the right person is yet to be, yet to be seen here. Nope, there he is. He's coming back out empty-handed here. So we had heard a report that CHP possibly had somebody in custody, but now you can see him coming around the building here, talking into his radio. He's got his hand on his weapon and still trying to find her, now perhaps possibly inside this building.
Oh,
additional
he's running in.
CHP officers running in there now.
Okay.
Private security, LAPD, CHP, all walking through that doorway. Maybe they have eyes on her, but we did have a report just a few seconds ago that CHP possibly had somebody in custody.
Okay, so this is coming close. I guess it's reassuring to see that they are quickly moving, so that it looks like that they at least know an approximation of where she might be. Somebody might have told them where she is, and then so they're quickly running to where that is. Hopefully they'll get her. More
LAPD units pulling in here. You can see them continuing. Backup now arriving, going through that doorway. Again, I want to just kind of caution, even though we have a report that somebody's in custody, many of these situations sometimes end up with a mistaken identity because the officers on the ground don't have as clear a description as we do. We've been watching her for the last, however many minutes, so we know exactly what she looks like. But those officers on the ground may, maybe rounding up some people who they have, a suspicion of, but not positive identity. So we'll see. They may have somebody in custody. We'll see if it's the right woman, presumably inside the building, as we've seen now a number of officers walk through that doorway.
Yeah, and perhaps the local security guard. I think you mentioned there was local security there. Maybe they.
It looked like a private. Yeah, there was somebody in a white shirt that looked like private security.
We know we saw LAPD go in there and several CHP officers. So I'm getting more reports that we are getting confirmation now. Somebody is in custody. I think we'll find out here in short order whether it is indeed the right suspect, but somebody is being taken into custody as we speak.
Right. And obviously authorities don't believe that she is dangerous, maybe that she's not armed, because they're allowing people to walk around. They're not establishing a perimeter to protect people. They're not telling people to stand back. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. I think you know, they want to keep the crowd back for sure. They
obviously have a better idea now. They're focusing on that doorway. So
The crowd is
inside, I'm
largely.
sure they are keeping people away. We don't see that crime scene being established just yet. But at the end of the day, again, they're gonna, you know, if they do indeed find her, it won't exactly be a large crime scene. They will take her into custody and figure out what the situation is. But they are calling in for backup. There is a little bit of crowd control. They want to keep people back just in case things go sideways. Absolutely, Giovanna. But it does appear from everything we're hearing that somebody is being taken into custody, and now you can see that LAPD officer in a much more relaxed stance in front of the building,
And here she comes.
some more residents coming out here. Again, a lot of commotion. You have a number of helicopters overhead, a number of law enforcement vehicles surrounding the building, and so any second now, I think we'll have our answer. But it does indeed seem like they do indeed have her.
All right, so we're debating on whether to stay with us and get and see the moment they pull her out, or we need to move on to other news. Here come some more officers.
I should. Are you still with me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to tell you, we're getting some more information from our assignment desk
that they are giving the code 4. So the suspect is in custody. They are on the second floor of that apartment building.
Interesting.
But they are calling for an ambulance.
Okay.
So the condition of that suspect is now very much in question. What happened on that second floor, again, very much in question, as the suspect appears to require immediate medical attention. They are waiting for that ambulance now. That explains the delay here, but units are now converging on the second floor of that building right there, but they do have confirmation that that pursuit suspect
is indeed in custody. They have issued the code 4, just waiting for an ambulance.
Right.
Okay.
So some unanswered questions.
Thank
Maybe
you.
she penetrated somebody's apartment, but we'll find out as we wait there. And I think what we're going to do is move on to another other part of the newscast. Chris, we're going to go back to you as you have more information for us. So thanks a lot. We'll check back with you in just a moment.
Other news now, one day after federal prosecutors announced the indictments of 5 people in the ketamine death of actor Matthew Perry, we're learning more about the defendants.
On the left, Jasveen Sangha, known as the